Oh, hi everybody. Oh, let me check my mic. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. What is going on here? Give me one sec. Well, it's because.
Are they on now? Can you guys hear me? Okay, hear me now. Shout out to everybody. Listen, I had to get all that together. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We're gonna do a little intro, but I want to shout out Kitty Coo, Ro, Vic, Bo. Thank you for being here. Who else? Tazzy. It's been a minute. How you doing, Tazzy? DB. Hey, Tom Collins. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to you, Cheeks. Kitty Coo, DB, who else? Glow, thank you, everybody. I saw Chico. Is Chico in here? Thought I saw Chico. There it is. Chico's there. How you doing? How are you? All right. Let's do a little intro, and then we're gonna get it together and get in here. Give people some time to get in here. Hopefully, YouTube, StreamYard, whatever the hell, doesn't like do a number on us again, like they did yesterday. But let's do a little intro. Where's my intro? Right? No, let's do this. Well, give people some time to get in here. We'll do the long one. I had to laugh at Tom's comment who says that the shroom bar makes the beginning everything. You need to give me your device, Tom. Shout out to Tom. All right, let me shout out a couple of you guys. Welcome, Bunny. How you doing? Don, Little Miss, Spooky Fox. How are you guys? Shout out to the members. Angelina, welcome. Dave, welcome. Kate, Pamela SP Butterfly. Thank you for being here. JD, Doc, who else? This functional cutie. I don't have a PO box. I think I got your email. I did. It was like multiple times. I don't have a PO box yet. I know I need to get one. I just haven't been able to fit it in the budget, but at some point maybe I will. I do have an Amazon wish list. That's what I've done to kind of substitute the PO box, but yeah, unfortunately I don't. Rosemary, welcome. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Daisy girl, how you doing, love? Shout out to you. Happy Wednesday. Sarah, Rosemary, I said hello. All right, everybody come in here. Melody says that it's 2 a.m. and I can't sleep, so I got to catch the live. Shout out to you. I love this intro, my new headphones. Yes. Kate, Selena, I hope you're doing well because I know it's like, didn't you say there was going to be like a weather change in Chicago or something? Shout out to you. Me, you, welcome. Bunny Advocate. Who else? Okay. You said, I believe Riley was unalive. Boots, pants, and underwear missing. We're going to get to Riley here in a minute, but still had his socks on. Thank you. Hey, degraded daughter, how are you? Mind my blues, how you doing? Okay, everybody's here. Tiki, welcome. Blom Bomb, welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. Terry, welcome. Oh, yes, and you tell them, don't forget to hit the like button. Hey, Petty, how you doing? Welcome. Thank you guys for being here. Bridget, welcome. Rosemarie has been a member for 3 months. Yes, my love. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here. I know I'm greeting everybody. I just wanted to talk to everybody. Cubana Chica, welcome. Shout out to you. Okay. I think I've greeted mostly everybody. CK, how you doing? Welcome. All right. Nikki, how are you? Okay, everybody come on through. Loves cats. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Oh, I had a pacemaker put in, but Lisa, oh, okay. I'm sorry. Running Bear, we'll be thinking about you, okay? You said let's get Missy. We're not gonna get Missy. Not here, not today. All right. So I wanted to talk a little bit before I get into the topics because of course I did the poll and everybody and their mother, of course, voted for all the topics. All right, that's cool, that's fine. Whatever. We're here to talk about them all. Um, so I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about what I'm doing in terms of like videos. I am doing a lot of uploads. I don't know if you guys are noticing, and the topics have been really centered because I've been covering a lot of the Diddy stuff. I really have been kind of pulling from that and creating, I don't know, like rabbit holes that I've been wanting to know about or that I was stuck in like back in the early as a millennial child, right? Like back earlier in that time frame or in the 90s. Um so yeah, I'm pulling from that. One of the deep dives that I want to do that I'm super 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 excited about is Kurt Cobain. Part of it is because, and I know that's more of the what is it, the Gen X generation, but Kurt Cobain was a huge part of the millennial crowd as well. So yeah, I'm doing a deep dive on that. It is wild stuff, and I was teasing y'all in the community tab because I never believed that I just did, and I know I'm just gonna give different explanations and be very respectful because I respect. Listen, the crowd, the um the Kurt Cobain's fans, like that's I respect y'all because I'm a fan too, so I get it. But I definitely want to get into that. But it's gonna take me a minute. How are you, P Tim? So I am doing a lot of uploads, like, and I want to just tell y'all something too. That oh, thank you, Tom, for the 9.99. You said Kurt Cobain, heart, heart, heart. Shout out to you. I am a regal rabbit. Don't you get it twisted. I am very regal. So yeah, you see, she put that there. That's not my fault. You said I see your boss. She got a camera on this thing. She put this here. This is her little thing, and she likes it, and she said it's gonna stay there. So I got to deal with it. It literally takes up a lot of space, but that's her thing. She likes sleeping with it too, so she decided to put it there. That's decoration for now. That's baby bunny for you. If she says this is coming down, it's coming down, and that's that. So blame her. Okay. Hey, Simply Monica. I'm giving people some time to get in here too. So, yeah, she's a CEO. So yeah, I just want you guys to know that I don't like when it comes to these deep dives, I'm not really taking a side as much as I am just reporting on what I found. So like I did one that was I tested myself a little bit. It was very controversial for me to do because I didn't feel like I knew everything and I learned everything and I really tested myself on the Caitlyn Jenner 2015 car accident and then the internet kind of coming for Caitlyn Jenner. And people, I love the fact that the comments were like, you can't compare those two. And it's not me comparing, it's the internet, it's the people, it's the Twitter, it's everybody else on YouTube, right? So I'm just doing my best to push me out of my comfort zone. And I'm going to keep doing that. So please note that. Don't think that I've stopped reporting on true crime. And part of it too is I've been really, really, really turned off by the way in which some of the true crime stuff has been reported here. I'm just being honest. I don't like seeing what's happening with Sebastian Rogers' case, and I've said this before. I just can't. And yeah, I hate it. And so what I'm doing is really kind of dealing with it by paying attention to other things that I feel like, you know, could get some attention as well. All right. So let's get it together and let's get it together, you guys. Okay. What are you guys doing? Okay. Okay. All right. All right. You said baby bunny is a great don't encourage that, bunny advocate. That thing is old. It needs to be washed. Don't encourage it. Don't encourage her. Oh, you said I'm a Gen Xer and that was my favorite brands. Oh, you did. Lollapalooza? All right, Nikki. Well, I'm just saying, shout out to the Gen Xers. Yeah. You said it's fucking gross that some creators have chosen to do that in the boy's name. Yeah, I don't like it. And so that's why it's been a little bit hard for me. But thank you, Terry. And y'all, all I'm asking you is do me a favor, support my channel. If you see an upload, go watch it. Just do me a favor and go watch it because that helps me. That's it. That's all. And then hit the like button, of course. All right. Terry, thank you so much. Shout out to you. And Tom Collins, again, thank you for the $9.99. Let's get it together because we got some stuff to get into. Y'all are talking about my eyeliners? Rabbit, your eyeliner bat wings are on point. Is it? I thought I did a little too much. I said, fuck it. Let's just go in there and really eyeline the eyeliner. Let me show you guys. It's the roller liner. I got this at Target. Benefit. I really like this. Look at YouTube. You better give me my promotional shit and stuff. Look, see, look at that. Look at that liner. That's what I use. I'm almost running out, by the way, but it's right there just in case. Okay. Let's start with, I kind of want to start with God's misfits first. Let's start with God's misfits first. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about the women that went missing and that were found and we're finding out through the affidavit that they were, brutally murdered at this point. I'm going to say that. By the name of Veronica Butler and Jilian Kelly. We've been following that case on and off. So apparently they had their first court appearance. So I definitely want to take a stroll over to TikTok land. Let's go do that right now. Where'd it go? Where's my links? Oh, come on. Let me go find them. And so, okay, help me understand this. So, like, I know that they're God's misfits, but apparently they're not doing a good job at just, I guess I just don't understand. Like, I don't know, what's the point? What was the point of this brutal crime? What was the point of taking these women away, their life away? What was the point of altering everybody's life, these children's lives, right? So apparently they had the court hearing today, and it was pretty bad. Hold on.
Court hearing quite like it because it was a very, very small. It
Here
was
it is.
very, very emotional, Marnie. I don't think I've ever been in a court hearing quite like it because it was a very, very small courtroom, and you had the victims' family members take up 3 of the
Wow.
rows of the courtroom, and some of them actually had to be physically held back.
Look, they're all wearing vests. Y'all notice that? And I know that they talked about another arrest at some point. They all wearing a vest, y'all. Look at that. I cannot.
During the hearing, they were sobbing and trying to lunge at the suspects as they were brought in, and other family members had to hold them back. And then they were actually saying things to the suspects during the hearing. They weren't actually shouting, but I mean, you could hear exactly what they were saying. They called Grandma Tiffany Adams, who, of course, is believed to be the orchestrator of these murders. They called her an effing bee. They called the other man a bastard, and a lot of expletives. A sorry ass.
Brian Enton reading the cuss words is like, Brian, just say them. Maybe because of the beep and everything. But at this point, really, it's grandma gone wild. I mean, she orchestrated at this point. That's what it seems like. She orchestrated everything. I don't know. Yeah, why are we protecting? Thank you, little miss. Now, of course, they have to be found guilty. Take the vests off. Thank you, Sarah. I mean, words is the last thing I want to have with you. You can get these hands. That's what this is. You know? Yeah, I'd feel the same way. Not Brian entered trying to read the expletives for the show. I know, right? You'd be like, um, just say the word. I think we already know what he's trying to say, right?
Piece of S word, which was just interesting to hear in a courtroom
Piece of shit.
as the defendants were brought in. Obviously, they're very, very
Mm.
emotional about what happened. I would say about maybe 24 family members inside the courtroom as the hearing went on. But again, the headline here: bond denied, and they will be back in court sometime next month. Marnie.
You talk about an emotionally charged situation. I feel for those families to be in that courtroom, see these people for the first time. Again, just drawing folks' attention to the screen. This is the first time we are seeing these 4 suspects publicly as they walk into court. Brian, how did the judge handle that interaction between the suspects and these family members?
Let me just quickly, Marnie, because court just ended, and this is. I'm sorry. Do you mind if we talk to you real quick, ma'am? You're
Oh,
Veronica's aunt, right?
I'm sorry.
Are you Veronica's aunt?
I am.
That's one of the victims. I'm so sorry. I was just telling Marnie, our anchor. First of all, I'm so sorry for everything you've been through, and just that courtroom was so small. I can't imagine you guys were just so close to them.
oh my
I
God.
mean, what was that like?
To hold my brother back from being, um, there's just too many emotions, so much anger. I don't understand how somebody can hate somebody so much that you want to kill him. My niece did not deserve that. Neither
No,
did the young lady with her.
they attempted to offer in February, you guys. This was not the first time. I just can't. Creekside says commenters were speculating the vests were to protect them from families of victims. I think it's to protect them from other gods' misfits that don't want them talking. You think so? See, I don't even know how deep the what is it? God's misfits go. That's interesting. Hey, Oklahoma, welcome. Listen, Spooky Fox says these entitled grannies, I could see Cindy Watts doing something like this. You know she thought about it. Her son just got there first. Ooh, wee. The victims didn't have vests. Why should these suspects have that privilege? I know. Shout out to Lanice who says, wow.
She was just there to help her.
Mm.
We didn't deserve this. Our family didn't deserve this.
God's Misfits was so Tiffany Adam, her fiance boyfriend or whatever, and the 2 other people, so it's 4 people arrested in total in that affidavit, they identified as God's Misfits, which is supposed to be some anti-government group that kind of, I wouldn't know, I don't know if they don't live off the grid per se, but they don't really follow a lot of government rules and laws, and yet they're doing court orders. And I got to look this up, but I found out that the judge was also removed from the case. I don't want to misspeak. Let me hold up on that. Let me look it up. But this is what I heard, that he was removed from this case because in their investigation there was a threat to the judge. This judge dropped the ball completely when it came to the visitation, when it came to all this shit. Yes. Yes, allegedly solve citizens type of situation.
Yeah, and they were just emotionless. The defendants when they were brought in. I mean,
Yeah.
did you know them before this?
No, we don't know them
Mm.
personally. No.
It's okay.
We're
Yeah,
good.
thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah, as you can see, Marnie, I mean, again, I've never really experienced anything quite like it because it was such a small courtroom and you had family members having to hold back other family members trying to actually go after the suspects, which in light of everything they're going through and having to be so close to these people accused of such heinous crimes, in a way, you can't really blame them. You can kind of understand just how raw the emotion was.
I think each and every one of us sympathizes with what they're going through and the nightmare that they're living.
It is.
Brian, what's next now that this hearing has taken place? What's the next step in the court case?
So there will be a hearing on May 15th. That is when they will have a status hearing, and several of the suspects will appear with their new lawyers that they will be hiring. And remember, many of these suspects, Tad and Grandma Tiffany in
Hold
particular,
up,
these are
y'all.
wealthy people from what we can tell. They own a lot of land. They have a lot of influence in this community. They have a lot of business connections. So we would presume they're going to get, high dollar defense attorneys to represent them
Of
because,
course.
they clearly have the resources.
I'm wondering, Brian, as in a lot of the
I just muted myself. Let me stop right here. Let me share something with you guys, okay? So this is, I said, I know I read it somewhere, and it's right here. Judge forced to resign after News Nation interview about Kansas moms. 4 charge in connection with mom's death, disappearance. Suspect tied to anti-government group God's Misfits. Okay? Municipal judge, friend of Kansas mom suspect present during raid? I cannot read today. Are you kidding me? But the judge is the friend, so now wait a minute. In such communities, because it's a small community, right? Would the judge typically go to a raid? But then they're saying here that the judge is the friend? Is this real? Am I reading something wrong here? Anybody know? The municipal judge, friend of Kansas moms, suspect present during raids. Hold up. Let's see what Banfield has to say about this.
Correspondent Brian Enchen drove out there today, did a lot of looking about and asking questions, and he's live with me now. So, Brian, take me to that property. Tell me everything you know about the land, the landowner, and what you were able to see.
Girl, no.
Yeah, first of all, actually, bear with me with the weather because it's been crazy here on the Oklahoma-Kansas line. We had a wind advisory today. There was a tornado last night, and now there's another big storm moving in. So it's going to get a little wet, but I want to get to all of our points. Yes, I went to the house and the area where the bodies were discovered. It's about 8.5 miles or so from where the mom's car was left in a very rural area. It is a piece of land that Tad was leasing out from an owner there. And there was a barn there. The bodies were discovered near a dam. There was some digging, and that's when they found them. The owner I met with, he was.
Yes. See, Kate, that's what I'm asking. Kate, is you and I are. This is the same question I have. Wait, this isn't the custody judge, right? Yes, it's the custody judge. That's what I'm hearing. So when I was at least complaining about the fact that, this judge is making really stupid decisions, what's going on? Y'all want to blame the caseworker, blame the system, blame your mother. It's not. That's not what I heard though, Coco. You said it's not. All right, let's keep reading. It's just a judge that happens to preside over the case and was removed. Let me read this again. Municipal judge, friend of Kansas mom suspect present. Is this a different judge? Because it says judge forced to resign. So was he any party to the case, or is it just a judge friend? Coco, let me know. Because that's not what I heard. Because that would be crazy.
He was crying when he was telling me the story. Totally shocked by all of this.
Okay, thank you.
Can't believe it. Can't believe this happened on his land. Was shocked when the police showed up and started digging. But that is where those women were found, Ashley.
Wow.
Okay, so now tell me, there's so much I want you to unload here, but you also got an interview today with Tad Cullum's business partner, who happens to be a municipal judge, who was coincidentally there at Tad's house while Tad's house was being raided. And then there's been a big twist tonight. Tell me everything that's happened.
Oh, Lord.
There is, and I'm going to get to the twist in a second because this is really crazy and goes back to the point that people here are very scared to talk. But yes, we talked to the municipal judge here, happened to be walking by, got in the car with me and chatted. He is a good friend of Tad. He is a business associate. They were working together. He was
okay. Let's get to it.
In his face.
I was there when they raided it.
Oh
were there.
shit.
Tad and I have been working together the last month in a business, and I was down there when it was raided.
What was that like?
Being with a military past in Vietnam, it brought back some really bad memories.
Oh
Looking down the
wow.
barrel of those rifles, it was very hard for me.
So the reason for the resignation, at least what I'm understanding, is that because he did an interview. That's basically it. Now here's the problem. So this judge, does he, I mean, hold up, let me see a great comment. You said, Infamous says, Rabbit, if he was forced to resign, then that means there were close ties. I bet you there's a lot of different more ties into this, like the family court, the custody. This is a small town, you guys. Just like a judge friend. Thank you so much. Coco, shout out to Coco and everybody else that listen. Shout out to you guys that correct me in the chat if I get something wrong or if I'm misunderstanding something. I am not above reproach, approach. Okay, so thank you. Shout out to you. So Coco, Don, and let me know, and said, listen, Rabbit, he got fired because he did the interview. And Coco said it's a different judge. It's not a custody judge. He said custody judge did have protection because of the threats. So there was threats to this judge in the investigation. That's what they were able to pull. So thank you so much for correcting me. Auntie M says, I think you're looking at this with city eyes. Everyone knows everyone, went to school with everyone, dated back in the day, might be 20K people in the whole town. Auntie M, you are so right. Call me city eyes, not snake eyes, city eyes, cat eyes, whatever. But you're absolutely right. I am so removed. And yes, you're absolutely right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just saying, it's 3 different counties. Okay. Cool. My jaw's on the floor right now. I mean, so he just happens to be at the house when it was raided? They can't force to resign over that. He got freedom of speech, right? Right, Kate. So this is weird. The women have only been missing for what, 2.5 weeks? Or 3 at most? Yeah, clear eyes, new eyes, bougie eyes, whatever. This is unclear. Why would he resign? But see, people are saying that he resigned because of the interview? Is he not allowed to interview? This is weird. I don't know. All right, let me go ahead and keep playing.
It brought back a lot of memories.
Now, let's be real. It says judge forced to resign. So he was forced to resign from his position. This is a military man, went to law school, clearly became a judge, and then he was forced to resign over doing this interview. But he's a friend of the family, right? Bunny eyes. Thank you. Is there Tammy? Thank you, Tammy. Well, thank you, Don. Shout out to you. No matter what, it's still very messy with it is messy. You said Judge shouldn't. I don't know if he knew that there was a raid. I think he was there to do business, and then the raid just kind of happened. I mean, y'all, what would you do if there's a raid? I'd be like, what the fuck is what am I into? What's going on?
A lot of bad things.
Did you ever get a bad vibe from Tad?
No. Tad was one of the nicest, funniest. I seen him almost on a daily basis this last month.
Oh, Jesus.
We were working together. I couldn't even believe he was involved in it.
What about Tiffany?
I didn't see her a lot. I've known her for years. Always thought she was just a little bit out in left field. But again, just never believed that they would do this kind of thing.
According to the affidavit, they were involved in this group, God's Misfits.
Yes.
What do you know about that?
Never even heard of
Lord.
it until this come up. Knew zero. Nothing about it.
It'd be like, come to find out he's the leader of the Misfits. Oh my God. Rosemary J, thank you for the $2. Rabbit, you're truly the best. Listen, OMG, I don't know what to expect. But beautiful messy ball. The article reads that he was forced to resign, but the mayor asked him to resign. I mean, if the mayor asked me to resign, I'd be like, how much you paying me to resign at this point? Like, I don't know. Wow. Wrong place at the wrong time type of situation. And he doesn't even know. See, as Francisco, conflict of interest with judge connections. I mean, maybe they share the same damn, I don't know, divider, office divider. Maybe he's like over there. He would see him. Coco says, I don't buy what the judges say. Come to find out that he's the leader. Lord. I know I just said that randomly. But honestly, like the way these people are connected, what would have, listen, who would have thought that this would have happened? He's there to do business and then there's a raid, you know? He said he told Brian Ensign that the mayor asked him to resign and he did. This was shortly after the interview. Oh, so maybe they didn't want that look in their county, city, or whatever. Mm. Thank you so much, Tennessee. I mean, it wouldn't be a good look, right? How is he gonna, especially if this is a small town?
And what have you learned?
No
To
coincidences.
me, and what I've heard, and I can't say this for fact, what I've heard, it's kind of like a cult.
Ooh.
A lot of cults use God as their background
Yep.
to
Or
justify
Xenu.
what they're doing.
Or Xenu.
To me, that's what it sounds like.
Are they anti-government?
Very, very anti-government.
But do you notice how he asked them, are they anti-government? Very, very anti-government. How you know? Did y'all see how he was describing Thad? Oh, he's a great guy, very funny. Faye says, I probably shouldn't have had that 420 break before this. Wait. Shout out to Faye. Shout out to all my 420. Oh my God, y'all. This is not, I can understand why he was asked to resign. So your friend is in a cult. Thank you. How'd you know? Did you just find out about the cult afterwards? Right, CK. I can't even. I don't know. He got a lot of flack because of the interview. It's a town of 261 people. So it's who you know, right? I mean, who was it? The lady or the person that said to me, you're not from a small town type of situation, or you don't have that. You have city eyes. Thank you. And I'm like, no, I have rabbit eyes. Yeah, anti-government, but doing business with the judge. See, that's what happens. I got city eyes. That's the kind of shit that I can see. Like, what? What? Who? Okay. All right. Let me see what you guys are saying here. You said dogs can be cross-eyed in small towns? They see too much? Oh my God. I've never seen a judge give an interview on a pending case. Definitely seems sus. Well, did he know? Like, how do you not know it's a pending? He would have to have known. He was there for the raids. This a dirty judge? Yeah, he didn't know that Thad was a part of the group. But then he tells Brian Enton that it's a cult. I call bullshit. Well, thank you. Thank you, Lenise. I call bullshit. Listen, he's a great guy also, but he's in a cult that I know nothing about. All right, let me stop, y'all. So the family saw the four and really went at it and really tried to kind of like, they were cursing them out and everything. I think that's the biggest thing. Very close to the perpetrators. My heart still goes, my heart goes out for these people because it's like, damn, especially Jillian's family, who was literally just there to help. Can you imagine the situation? I don't know. We'll keep talking about it and reporting it, but I really feel some type of way about it because it's like, I don't get it. Like, that judge, now the judge has a protection order because he's afraid of his life, that kind of situation. And now here we are. It's just a bad situation overall. All right, guys, we got to go over and talk about Riley. and this interview that they did with also News Nation. Okay, now let me put this on here. Shout out to everybody. Yes. Well, I mean, think of the Murdoch case. Like, that's another one. They were all over government, right? So that's a good point. Cooler by the Lake comment, that judge needs to get out of Dodge after the interview, like ASAP. Like ASAP. Thank you, Infamous. It's a lot, man. And you'll never find out. It's like you never know what's going on in a small town. You said I call BS, we call BS. Coco, shout out to Coco and everybody else that corrected me. Don, everyone, y'all. Seriously, question. If he didn't know about the cult, then how does he know it's an anti-government? We're going to drop it here and move on to Riley because we could talk about this forever, clearly, all right? And I definitely enjoy it, but I don't have that kind of time. All right, we got to move on. So Riley's family is definitely coming forward and really advocating. We're learning more about what just some of the inconsistencies and some of the things that happened with Riley. Mom had done the interview with News Nation, but apparently also Mom says that Riley had texted her about the drink not tasting good. I had heard something to the effect of tasting like barbecue, or there was a taste of this specific drink. At this point, I mean, I'm down for whatever the family wants to do if they want to continue to bring advocacy to this. I think it's important to, but the internet is a bit, at least from what I've read, everybody's a bit divided about this because people feel like, he just died naturally. Nobody did anything to him. And then you have the other side that say, no, he was murdered. And it's really been kind of a back and forth type of thing. But I'm kind of curious to know what you guys say in the comments about this.
He had with his mother at one of those bars. They're not sure which one he was at, not Luke Bryan's bar, but one of the ones before. I want you to listen to what they said.
He had sent me a text and said that he had ordered he was drinking a rum and coke and it didn't taste good. And I said, well, you probably shouldn't drink it then. He goes, well, it tastes like barbecue. And I go, well, that sounds awful. And he said, well, it sounds good, but it's not.
When a rum and coke normally tastes the same, I mean, that's not something that you really normally taste any different.
Right.
It has a very consistent taste.
Yes. Yes. And that's why I'm like, you probably shouldn't drink that then.
Do you think that could have something to do with what happened?
Yeah, maybe there was something in it that shouldn't have been.
I mean, even if there wasn't foul play at the river, but if something happened in the bar, that's the kind of thing that could hurt someone else.
Exactly.
And you hear about that happening to women, but it likely happens to men too, I'm sure.
Yes.
From the stories that we've been told from Uber drivers and just different individuals that reached out to us that either happened to a family member or happened to them in Nashville, there's something there.
Men can be drugged as well. Okay. So I'm glad that they're bringing this up because it is a point of, people having this like machismo idea. I think that's what we call it, at least in my culture. I know some of you guys could probably relate, but like there's this machismo of like man can't be taken advantage of. And if they are taken advantage of, if the girl is hot or if it was more like, I don't know, I guess in our society, we don't really see men as vulnerable beings, but they can be. They can be. Men can be violated too. Like, so I definitely appreciate that they're bringing this up. And I'm glad people reached out and shared their stories. Jojo, that's a great question, by the way. That is a great question. Do we have footage of this? Of if anybody spiked the drink?
There's something going on in that town.
It just feels like you come up to a stopping point. Every time we get somewhere, it just feels like there's something holding everybody back from fully giving us what we need. And there's just something there. There is something there. It's just
Be it money or bad publicity.
Right. We don't know, but we truly want to try to help, the situation and help others.
Nobody needs to go through what we've had to go through, the way that we've had to go through it. I mean, they're still telling us it's an accident. Fine. Show me the proof that you have that it's an accident.
Yes.
I'll accept it.
So now, Ashley, questions of whether Riley was roofied based on that conversation that he had with his mom, and obviously the way that he was acting in some of the surveillance video that didn't make sense. We've learned there's a state investigation now on top of the local investigation, which apparently has ended and isn't continuing. The state now looking at cameras from the bars, according to the family, trying to figure out, what he drank. Did someone slip something in his drinks? All of that now being looked at, Ashley.
Well, I sure hope that the state investigators, if they find that someone slipped something into his drink and he died as a result of it, I hope they charge that person with felony murder, because drugging someone is a felony. And when someone dies as a result of your felony, you get charged with resulting murder. That is so distressing to hear that. Brian, excellent digging. And I know that there's a lot more. By the way, please go get shelter. Thank you for, doing this in such bad weather down there, and all the digging and all the double duty today, Brian. Thank you so much. Excellent job.
Shout out to Brian and to.
And I've got a whole lot more of Brian's exclusive interview with Riley Strain's parents coming up after the break, because while they were on the ground in Nashville and they were personally searching everywhere they could, what were Riley's frat brothers doing? Riley's mom and dad said they could not believe how these young men behaved, and you may not believe it either. Hear it all next.
Who said? Didn't we listen when we first covered it? When we talked about this, we did. Y'all remember going back to the bar that they were released? There was a friend that went out there and then he came back in, and we were like, well, how come 50 friends and they all didn't go there together? Like, what's going on? Something's crazy.
Dead in the Cumberland River. Nashville police are still insisting it was a tragic accident and nothing more. But the family is not buying that. As for Riley's brothers at his fraternity at the University of Missouri, you may be shocked when you hear how they reacted to Riley's real family when that family needed support the most. Not only that, we got more now of an interview you'll see now only on News Nation about that drink, about the disappearance, and about what happened afterwards.
Let's go.
Riley's mom and dad and step parents with our Brian Enton.
They've got a mountain of evidence that they're working on filtering through, and he has been in contact several times throughout this whole investigation.
Do you think that could lead to some answers in terms of maybe if there was something in the drink? I would think there's got to be all sorts of cameras.
So we heard there was 150 cameras in Luke Bryan's bar, I believe it was. We hope that'll lead to something.
So, it's interesting because he wasn't in Luke Bryan so long as we thought. According to what the detectives told us timeline this week, he'd left Garce and went to Kid Rock's and then spent an hour in Kid Rock's, then showed up at Luke Bryant's at 9:15, I believe is what the detective told us. He was in Luke Bryant's from 9:15 to 9:36, 21 minutes. He had one beer, 2 waters. Last time I checked, every time you go into these bars, you have to show ID, probably have to pay a cover. And
yes.
So if he didn't meet the protocol to be in there after being in there 21 minutes, I can't imagine a lot changed in that 21 minutes from when he was paying to get in.
Well, I'm just thinking about, you've got celebrity bars involved. You've got Nashville, which is a huge tourist destination. You've got a big fraternity with chapters all over the country. A lot of people who probably just would prefer that you guys stop doing these interviews.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not going to stop until we get satisfied with some sort of answer somewhere. Because where we're at right now still doesn't make sense.
It's still a mission. The objective is still the same, to find out what really happened, because everything we're seeing, it doesn't add up. It's not 1 + 1 = 2. If it was, we wouldn't be sitting here.
The fraternity brothers had not gone to the police when they called you?
Not that I am aware of.
Were you surprised?
Yes. Because why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they have called the police when they got back at 3:15 in the morning?
Yep.
And didn't see him then?
That was a question we were asking too. Like, were they all drunk? Potentially? I don't know. You said in case, and that could also very well be, this could have all been so accidental. We don't know, but a lot also doesn't sit very well, right? Like I teeter on this one, and this is why I'm like I struggle, because it's like I don't want to put some crazy ass conspiracy theory out there on this situation if we don't really know. Like, I don't know what the toxicology report looks like quite yet, but I think that's something we have to pay attention to. Infamous, thank you for being a member for 9 months. Shout out to you. You said when he came out the bar, he was falling head first. Yeah, he hit his head on a pole. But what really happened? Bar hopping. everything. All he just needed the one friend out of the 50 that night, and none of them. I don't know, y'all.
Why wouldn't they have called the police? I don't know.
So 7 or 8 hours had gone by from the time they got back to the hotel to when they called you. Do you have any idea why they didn't call the police until then?
I don't know.
We called them on the way down, and it was probably close to 12 o'clock. And they were just going to the sheriff's detention center, to the sheriff's office, the reporting missing at.
Yeah, and we heard that call. Now, here's the deal. News Nation, I have a beef to pick with you because there were so many interviews with people that saw people with the same shirt that Riley wore, and people would have sworn that it was worn by a homeless man. I don't know. I mean, shout out to Chico. It was not confirmed, and then we found out that he was found with the shirt, so nobody took his shirt. See, that's the piece that I'm like, News Nation, it's great that they're giving a platform, but you also got to correct it. That was misinformation that was perpetrated by so many other people and brought in. So yeah, we definitely have to it's not okay.
That was probably 12:30, somewhere in there.
So 2 more hours had gone by from the initial call.
Yeah.
They still hadn't gone to the police.
14 hours after his last ping over his phone was.
There you go.
Do you think they were just scared, or do you have any idea why?
It's $1 million question.
So what happened when you got to Nashville?
So when we got there, all the boys were out. Well, not all the boys, but several of the boys were out front with a police officer. And we had to finish filling out the report. So we completed that, and the boys stayed out for a while. And then they all of a sudden disappeared, all of the boys. And they ended up back out a little while later in their dress clothes to go out to their formal that night.
They went to the formal?
Yeah.
They went to the formal. Oh, they really cared.
These are his fraternity brothers?
Mm-hmm. Fraternity brothers, roommates, friends from high school.
We spent the next 4.5 hours searching every emergency room to see if he was in the hospital. We come back, and they're coming back, some of them from the party, and they're waving at us as we're sitting in the truck.
Oh,
how's that make you feel?
I would have thought they would have all banded together like a search group that night.
150, 160 of them on the ground, there from all different chapters. And, they told us that they were there. All of them were there if we needed them. We didn't know what we needed at that point in time, but you would have thought that, they would have at least been out searching, trying to do something. It wasn't.
Or something.
So the night after he went missing, you were out searching, and the fraternity brothers were partying. What were you thinking?
We weren't very happy with them, to say the least. It's appalling.
You all received a letter from someone else who was staying at the same hotel who described a little bit of what they heard that night that Riley went missing. I just want to read part of it. At first, I thought it was a bunch of drunk college kids being jealous of girlfriend-boyfriend stuff, but it was too loud and went on too long. They were in halls. I could hear them between the walls. The doors for the hotel rooms are very heavy, so they slam when you let them shut. I woke up at 3:15 a.m. to numerous doors slamming, kids in the hall, both boys and girls, having very loud discussions, going back and forth from rooms multiple times. It was like new kids kept showing up on the floor during the entire period. These kids were freaking out about something. Were you ever able to find out what was going on in the hotel that night?
From one of the friends that I talked to this week, apparently he had hurt his hand that night. Didn't really specify what he had done, but apparently it had to do with a hurt hand that night.
This is,
and
oh my God.
Being emotional about it. Apparently it didn't have anything to do with Riley.
Do you think there's information that his frat brothers have that they're not sharing?
I feel like yes, maybe. I mean, I haven't sat down and talked to any of them to say, tell me.
Yeah, yeah, right here. Did he have a fight with one of the frat brothers? And we're just now learning this information. Okay, keep that in mind. We didn't know. We don't know. When I remember in the press conference, the mother was, she was in tears, of course, but she was also like, She didn't talk bad about the frat brothers. Nobody did. They said that they were helpful. So now what do we do here?
Tell me your whole entire story. Would I like that? Yeah, yes. It would be nice.
Now that you found Riley, do you feel like you have a different purpose in terms? I mean, do you want to know everything that happened? Is there like a hole? How would you describe it?
Of course, there's a hole in my heart. There always will be. And we may never know what happened that night, and that makes it even worse for me. But yeah, I would like to know everything that happened that day.
I don't understand why they haven't reached out to us.
Yeah.
Wanting to provide information of that night. You know, maybe I'm crazy, but why should we have to reach out to them and beg them for information on a missing brother?
Did his brothers come to the funeral?
Listen, Callie, that is a great question. They're going to lawyer up. They're going to lawyer up. That's what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
They did. They were shuttled down on a bus, basically chaperoned through. They were loaded back up on a bus and back to school they went again.
Do you think the fraternity is trying to protect the fraternity? I mean, in terms of like a lawsuit or reputation, or I mean, what do you think is happening behind the scenes?
I think it's a reputation blow.
I do. Yeah. There were a couple of things that happened over this last week. They had a memorial service for him in Columbia, and we were notified 3 hours before. Well,
wow.
We know it takes 3 hours to get to Columbia. I mean, I thought this was a brotherhood, you know.
Riley Strain's parents with our own Brian Enton. Thank you for watching.
What do you guys think? Like, let me know. What do you guys think? Now it's looking suspect. I'm just saying. Now we got more details. Now we know Infamous says is suspect as a mother. Mm-hmm. It's definitely suspect. Okay. KD, don't worry if you're late. Turn in your slip to Pika. Welcome. Okay. You said fraternities are protected. There's more. Home training in action. Y'all train your kids, man. Train your kids, because let me tell you, some of this ish, people just don't give an ish. They just don't, train them at home. Like, it's hard, but I don't know. I'm just saying. Okay, we got to get into this last portion. Shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for coming. And if you're coming in late, shout out to you. Thank you for being here. And we're going to keep talking about Riley as updates are coming, because I'm kind of curious to know where this investigation is going to go, where we're going to go with it, what's going to happen next. I'm definitely intrigued now. So we will see. And of course, I support whatever the family wants to do. I'm glad that they're doing what they're doing. I believe that they're still waiting. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I believe from what I read, they're still waiting on the second autopsy, or there will be a second autopsy. That's my understanding. Coco says also the rumors that the bars in the areas were bad for spiked drinks makes me go, It's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of rumors. Thank you. Hey, thank you for stopping by. Shout out to the lookers. Okay. We got the last part is the Diddy conversation. Now, let me just say this, okay? I've been doing a lot of coverage on Diddy through our little uploads. Make sure you check them out. Diddy. It's now coming back. This 1999 New York Club City shooting where J-Lo, Jenny from the Glock, who's not really from the block, and now she's got a Glock. That's what Jenny is, right? Jenny and Diddy, or Puff Daddy at the time, I think was, I don't know, he went by Diddy back then, or Sean Combs, whatever. They went to this club, right? And Shyne was at this club too, right? We've been calling this out. A lot of people have been calling this out, that Shyne was wrongfully convicted and accused of committing a crime and serving time for Diddy. Now this is going to get messy, because Shyne served 9 years behind bars. You have Natanya. There were 3 people that were shot that night. Natanya was shot in the face. She claimed that it was Diddy. They went the criminal court at the trial. By then, J-Lo and Diddy had broken up. J-Lo, they had a grand jury. She testified in that grand jury. J-Lo was shot, or excuse me, Natanya was shot in the face. Natanya always stayed consistent in her story. She's come back and she said, Diddy did it. That's what Diddy did, right in the face. And she is willing to have fragments of the bullet fragments that are still in her face removed. Shyne has never really spoken about this. I think 2 years ago he did the interview with Tamron Hall. Shyne spoke about it briefly, but here's the deal about Shyne. Shyne served 9 years. Initially, he said he didn't shoot anybody. He was very resentful of Diddy. Serves 9 years. And then after he serves the time, gets deported to Belize. Becomes a politician. That's right. Becomes a politician over there. And suddenly he's made peace with the whole situation. He has. That's what he did. My understanding is that they, Diddy and Shyne are now cool. They squashed that shit. And he's okay with everything that has happened. Allegedly, Diddy has helped Shyne in his Belize situation, has helped the people of Belize, right? But there was an interview that was had in Belize. And this was something that, shout out to Popcorn Planet. We talked about it. I did an upload video earlier on this, but Popcorn Planet really broke the story on YouTube with this. Mommers, that's what I want to know. Listen to what Shyne has to say.
Press briefing in late March and says he has declined dozens of requests from international press to discuss it. And he declined again today during the press briefing.
Just listen.
But at the end of it, conceded to make some comments. His first since Diddy's name became immersed in scandal.
It opens wounds when you hear, the victim saying that it was Diddy that shot her. That is what is the most remarkable. Oh, you didn't see?
And there's a notable accent here. Like his accent is very notable because I've heard of interviews with Shyne has talked before and he doesn't sound like this. So he's got a different accent right now. Whatever. Just letting you guys know.
I saw it. Okay. And that was triggered by a lawsuit.
This is the victim.
Producer that produced on the Love album who is making accusations, and in those accusations he says that the gentleman confessed to the shooting. And that is what stands out to me the most because I've done my best to put it behind me and to move forward. But it certainly reopens the wounds that I've been saying this all along. Everyone knew all along that I was the fall guy. But my political enemies and detractors tried to make me into this criminal. But everyone knew that I was a young kid that took the fall. Everyone knew
I was a young kid who took the fall.
That was the story for all the years until I got
court and never really pointed the finger at.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that was a decision that I made as a young man, and I'm not going back on that. I'm not about to point the finger. No, I'm not going to get into that.
Well, I was not doing it, sir.
I'm just saying that I maintained my innocence all this time. I said I was defending myself. I didn't get into who did what. But the victim is telling you who did what. And I understand that there are other witnesses.
Is she accurate, sir?
Listen to what he said. The victim is telling you who did what. They ask him, is she accurate, sir?
I'm not going to get into that. But it does open wounds. And certainly I am relieved that people are saying what the truth is, that I did not shoot those people.
I did not shoot those people. Now, and Vic says, to be fair, when did she change her testimony, Vic? Let me know, because at least what I've heard, it's been very consistent, but I am kind of curious and I'm willing to dig into the testimony, and that would be an awesome deep dive. So if we can really pin it to when she said something or when she said something different, that would be awesome. Let me know. Look. Somebody said in my comments when I did this video, so what does it matter now? Like, Shyne is, he's a politician. He's going about his way. We need to just let Shyne be Shyne. Thank you, Vic. Shout out to you. And I said, it does fucking matter. It does matter. Doesn't mean he's going to go back to prison, I don't think, but it does matter. The truth matters. The lady, Natanya, is still asking for there to be an awareness for a case to be reopened. It does matter. We got Diddy raids. It does matter.
So, according to Barrow, he has been vindicated after spending a decade in prison. But he never held it against P. Diddy.
That's my understanding.
He has publicly reconciled with in recent years. But does he still associate himself with the entertainer after the allegations against him and the raid on his home? The leader of the opposition said, "We should be more focused on national issues, but that it would be a tragedy if Combs's reputation was ruined by false allegations." Still, those allegations haven't stopped Barrow from keeping in touch with his mentor.
Are you concerned that
Hold up. Vic Eddie, didn't you just you were in the chat insulting me, said, great deep dives for somebody who's a non-Harvard graduate. Listen, we don't got to be Harvard graduates over here. And now you all cabs Diddy's parties with Kamala Harris in the early 2000s when she dated Montel Williams. They are blackmailing the vice president. Now, where in Harvard did you learn that? Or did you just come up with that bullshit? Let me know. I cannot. All right.
Tainted image of Diddy, who was your mentor and who you have reconciled with in the past, publicly reconciled with in the past 3 years, that no, his entire operation has come under such a cloud of suspicion for nefarious and dubious activity. Are you concerned that you will also be tainted by it?
I don't see how. Again,
you offer a scholarship.
I leave it up to you, sir. A scholarship to educate people has nothing to do, sir. You're talking about Andrea Perez, who, when the Auxilou, after she withdrew, now she has a video.
Ooh,
it is an accusation.
They beeped it.
But you guys don't make anything of it. Yes, welcome back, Andrea Perez. Yes, man, the ministry. We don't care when the Auxilou said women's rights, equal rights, gender equality. Oh, she had to run to the States because she's afraid of her life. That's what she's saying. No, we don't really believe that. Carry on, Prime Minister. That's what we need for the focus on. What an entertainer who has nothing to do with politics, he's facing accusations. He has not been convicted of anything. Nothing has been proven, even in a civil court where the threshold is much lower. I obliged you, just to share that certainly it has opened wounds for me, but I don't know. I'm not telling you the veracity of it.
Shyne, the question was, how can you associate yourself with somebody like Diddy, whose reputation is being tarnished? Well, I mean, he has not been found guilty. Let's be clear. But how can you associate yourself with Diddy? And Shyne's response is, let me bring some stuff from something of another prime minister and all this other BS. No. It's very simple. How? I would have answered, listen, he has not been found guilty. He's been a very honorable person when it comes to helping my campaign. And if there is question about our association, I have no problems being transparent about our association. Something like that.
I maintain that I never shoot nobody, that there were other guns there. I always said that. That has not changed. And that is the testimony that came out. Fragments were never removed. So there was never any forensic testing to say who it was.
Fragments were never removed, which is what she's requesting. And therefore, we don't know who it was. He can recognize that. So they need to remove some of those fragments. In News Nation, Natanya said that she was willing to do that.
But the victims are vindicating me. Witnesses are vindicating me. But I have moved on. I'm not trying to relive that. And so I am appreciative of whatever contributions Diddy has made to help the people of Belize. I wish him well. I pray for him, and I pray for the alleged victims. And if it is true, may justice be served. If it is not, it's a tragedy, because a global icon would have been destroyed.
Have you spoken to him in solidarity, at least?
I've been in touch.
Is he one of your financiers?
He has supported me openly, yes.
Of course he supported you openly. I don't think he paid for his attorneys back then, but he supported you openly. Yes, exactly, Kate. She deserves justice. It's the truth. But he's okay. But the thing is the man served 9 years. He's not going to go back to jail, I don't think. But I don't know, y'all.
And while we expect that the issue of P. Diddy's past may continue to be deployed as a political boogeyman well into 2025, Shyne Barrow says his position as leader of the UDP is rock solid and invulnerable to attack. This after a resolution by the National Party Council to once again endorse Barrow and his leadership executive until after the next general elections. At the same time, the NPC dropped a resolution to remove John Saldiva and Denny Grijalva as standard bearers. It was seen as a quid pro quo in order to quell a rebellion from Saldiva's caucus for change.
Right. And that's that. That's it. That was that on that. What do you guys think? Now, Dawn said this is a good point. She may be willing, she may be willing to remove those fragments, but the doctor might say no, right? Yeah. There's a reason why those fragments weren't removed when that happened. That's true. I was thinking about that too. I was like, well, maybe the doctor might not want to remove them, especially after so long. Maybe she could have issues with them. I don't know. I mean, even the fact that they left them there, I don't know. Caesar, no justice she deserves. The same thing. Absolutely. Let's see. Hopefully Jennifer will be re-questioned. Well, Jennifer, if it comes out, like, listen, I don't know if they're going to investigate this. People have said different things. She perjured herself. She lied to the jury, she lied to the jury the grand jury. This is what Natanya said. So if any of this is true, that's what she did. And so to me, she's not, first of all, she's known to steal shit from everybody, from everyone, whatever. It is what it is. I said what I said. But anyways, guys, you said no. J-Lo bots. I better stop because they might demonetize us and it might take forever because we're talking about this ish. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this as we're covering some of these issues. Of course, I'm going to be uploading some stuff tomorrow, so just keep an eye out. I will see you guys because I got to go tend to baby bunny, and I didn't even do a thumbnail for this live. I have to do one. So shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Let me shout out Rose Marie J for a member for 3 months. Tom, thank you again for the $9.99. Rosemary, the $2. Infamous being a member for 9 months. Shout out to you guys. All right, y'all. I have to head out because I got to go tend to baby bunny, but you guys have a great one, okay? Rabbits out. Bye, guys.